דרמטי של פיגוע דקירה קטלני בצומת גוש עציון אתמול, שבו נרצח ארי פולד, זכרו לברכה, מדגיש עוד יותר את הגבורה והאומץ שאותם גילה ברגעיו האחרונים.
הוא גיבור אמיתי, הוא לא רק גיבור, הוא נתן את החיים שלו בשבילי.
Last week, the Jewish people commemorated Holocaust Memorial Day. Now we're about to commemorate Israeli Memorial Day for remembering all of the soldiers and all of the innocent Jews who have been killed or murdered in wars or terrorism because our only crime is being Jews living in our homeland. And then immediately following Israel Memorial Day, we will be celebrating Israel Independence Day, a day where we celebrate our thankfulness and gratitude to God for allowing us, the Jewish people, to once again return and become sovereign in our homeland for the third Jewish Commonwealth. We have returned after 2,000 plus years of exile and persecution to be sovereign in our homeland once again. And here behind me, the beautiful, beautiful Judean hills. Now, do you want to know the difference between Holocaust Memorial Day and Memorial Day when we remember our soldiers and the victims of all the terror attacks? Well, Holocaust Memorial Day is the price we paid for not having our own Jewish state of Israel. Memorial Day, remembering our soldiers and victims of terror, is the price we pay for having our Jewish state of Israel. That is a very simple yet powerful explanation of the difference between those two different Memorial Days. As we are about to begin Israel Memorial Day, I want to share with you a story of one of my friends, because I have a number of friends who were killed and or murdered, whether in battle or from terror attacks. And today I will share with you one of the stories of one of those friends. On September 16th, I think, 2018, my friend Ari Fuld, my childhood friend, we grew up together in New York, we went to school together. We then lived as neighbors here in Efrat, here in Gush Etzion. He was standing right here. He just got a new phone, or his phone got fixed, and he was standing right here fiddling with his phone, and he was stabbed by a terrorist. The terrorist stabbed him in the back. Ari didn't have a chance. Ari actually trained my wife, he used to train women and children in self-defense, and he taught them everything, and he goes, the only thing you can't defend against is if they attack you from the back. And Ari was a lion. He was a lion of a man, physically and also in spirit. And this terrorist attacked him from behind. And Ari chased after him and ended up pulling out his gun and shooting him. I don't remember if he hit him or not. But after Ari shot him, he was around right over here where he shot. And after he shot, he then collapsed. And here, there is a memorial in memory of Ari Fuld. Ari Fuld died the hero that he lived. He stood up for the Jewish people in the land of Israel, and hence he was called the Lion of Zion. I think the best way to allow you to understand who Ari was for me to just share with you the actual video clip after I heard the news about the terror attack. Hello everybody. My name is Avi Abelo. I'm a childhood friend of Ari Fuld's, and I have been had the privilege of being able to sit next to Ari every day in synagogue, Sabbaths, holidays, every morning. It's very hard for me, a good friend for close to 40 years, and a warrior for Israel. Ari was murdered just a few hours ago in Gush Etzion by a Muslim terrorist. Ari, the lion, the warrior, who you all follow. It's hard to imagine. One of the strongest among us all. But yes, even Ari was murdered by our horrible, evil enemies. Ari stood for truth, everybody. Ari stood for truth. Changing the narrative so we speak a narrative of truth. The truth is, why am I on his Facebook page? Because Facebook was constantly shutting him down. Facebook was always shutting down Ari's voice of truth. People were always complaining and having him trying to be shut down. His personal page, his professional Facebook pages. So Ari added me as an administrator. So that even if he'd be shut down, there would be other people who would be able to help save his page. So here I am with all of you, speaking about the fighter for Israel and the Jewish people and humankind who you knew and you followed. And I'm here at the western wall of the Temple Mount. This is where Ari loved to show everybody. He loved the picture saying, they call us occupiers. This is our structure. This is the western wall of the Temple Mount. They built their golden dome on top. They're the occupiers. They're the colonializers. Don't forget the true narrative that Ari always spoke about, folks. Be proud Jews. Be proud people. If you're not Jewish, be proud of the truth. Be proud of the Jewish people. Be proud of the state of Israel and everything it's doing. And be strong in standing up for the truth. Call out the evil within our enemies. They are enemies. There is evil. They just killed Ari Fuld. And anyone who knows Ari knows he fights until the end. And he fought until the end. The horrendous, evil Muslim terrorist came up to him from behind, stabbed him from behind. And even though he was stabbed from behind, critical wounds that ended up taking his life away, not able to be saved, he still managed to turn around and shoot the terrorist. Unfortunately, the terrorist still lives. He was only lightly wounded. But you all know Ari. You know Ari the fighter. Just so you understand, to this day, Ari still does his reserve duty. Our age is past doing reserve duty. Ari continues to continued. He's not going to go to reserve duty anymore. Ari continued to this day to go to reserve duty, even though he did not have to anymore, even though he was volunteering. And he just, usually us old folks, as we're in the middle of our 40s, right, Ari and I, we're the same age, 40, 44, 45 years old, we're the old folks. We can't run, we can't carry the heavy stuff anymore, not like the young kids. Not Ari. Ari was carrying the heaviest gun, running in front of everyone, because he was a fighter for the Jewish people, a fighter for the land of Israel, a fighter for humanity, a fighter for truth. That was Ari Fuld. I still cannot believe that I'm here talking about my friend Ari, who just this morning I was talking to at the Shacharit prayers in synagogue. Both of us are very active advocates for Israel on social media, on Facebook. Ari talks the truth. I don't have the guts like him to talk like him. I talk differently. But we always, every day, we talk to each other. What's going on? What are you working on? Who'd you talk to? What's the latest? What's the latest with Facebook? What are the latest challenges we have? And just this morning I was talking to him at Shacharit prayers in synagogue. And now he's no longer. But I couldn't be at any better place to make the announcement about Ari on his page. than the Western Wall of the Temple Mount, the place where he used countless times to show the true narrative. This was ours for thousands of years before the Golden Dome was built on top. And look at who's here today. We have hundreds of Israeli soldiers. Ari was a proud Israeli soldier. He worked every day to help Israeli soldiers, whether for different organizations, whether for different volunteer projects. He was always standing up for the Israeli soldiers. We are the front line of humanity, and Ari knew it. And Ari got all of you to follow him, to hear the truth and stand up to the for the truth, and be public and vocal with the truth. Don't be afraid. Everybody, Ari's memory, be an Ari Fuld. Don't be afraid to say the truth. Don't be afraid to say that our enemies are evil. Don't be afraid to say that a terrorist should be killed. Don't be afraid to say that a terrorist shouldn't be allowed to watch television and get a doctorate degree in prison. Don't be afraid to say that UNRWA should be closed down. Don't be afraid to say that the Palestinian Authority is really just the PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization, who are still terrorists today. Be Ari Fulds, everybody. Be Ari Fulds. Stand up for the truth and don't be afraid of the political correct thinking. Ari was the best of us, folks. He was one of the best. Life isn't fair. Life's not about being fair. Life's about us taking responsibility and doing what we believe to be the right thing to make our lives better and to make mankind better. And Ari did that by spreading the truth. Change the narrative, folks. Tell the truth about the Jewish people. Tell the truth about our enemies who want to kill and murder us. Tell the truth about Jewish history. We are the indigenous population, the Jews. It's the Arabs, the Muslims who are the colonializers, folks. That's the narrative that Ari worked so hard to get out there. That's the narrative he's working on, speaking engagements all around America and the world to get people to understand the true narrative. The establishment says lies. The Israeli establishment, the Jewish establishment, the media. And Ari was a fighter to get the true narrative out there for everybody. So all the Jews watching out there, you understand, we're now in the holiest time period of the year. We just had New Year, Rosh Hashanah. We're about to have Yom Kippur. And our rabbis teach us that anyone who dies in this time period, they're the holy ones. They're the holy ones. So Ari was one of the best, and he's one of the holy ones. He's not down here to help us anymore, but he's going to be up above to be a voice for us. His voice of truth will now help us from up above. May this be the end of the horrors, and may we all go into Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, as pure as possible, and pray for the forgiveness to deserve a better future for all of us. So anyone who wants to help Ari Fuld's family, just follow the page, and I will post updates on how anyone can help out. In the meantime, my final message to everyone: be an Ari Fuld. This is the true narrative, the Western Wall, the Temple Mount, not the Dome of the Rock that was built on top, symbolizing who came here first and who came here second to occupy our land. And I'm sorry to tell everybody that we'll no longer see Ari Fuld making videos at this place, giving people tours, telling them the truth, challenging people who believe lies to understand the truth at this place. He loved coming here every Thursday night. He came here to learn Torah. Every Thursday night he came here to do tours and show people the truth. Every week we will no longer have those live video feeds. But I used to work with Ari and help Ari, and I will make sure his videos stay alive. My company runs Israel Video Network and IsraelOnWire.com, and we will make sure Ari's videos stay alive, his voice stays alive, the narrative that he worked so hard to get out there stays alive, that we spread it and watch it, and more people learn the truth. That Ari was so good at getting across. With that, I'm going to end with the traditional Jewish saying that we say whenever we hear bad news, and also when we hear about the death of people, and that is Baruch Dayan Ha'emet. May the judge of truth be blessed. Jews say that because we don't understand God's ways. But everything that happens, the good and bad, is done for reasons. And just like we bless the good, we also bless God for the bad, because somehow it's part of His big plan, no matter how upset we are about it, no matter how much we don't understand it, no matter how unfair it is. Baruch Dayan Ha'emet. In Ari's memory, everybody, be an Ari Fuld. Stand up for the truth, and don't be embarrassed about your proud Jewish identity and about the state of Israel, and standing up for the truth. Shalom, everyone. Wish I had better news. I wanted to end this special Israel Memorial Day segment here at Ari Fuld's grave. While Ari was horrendously taken away from us due to another terror attack, his spirit lives on. The Lion of Zion lives on in all of us, and he is looking out for us from up above. Israel Memorial Day is a special day right before we start the celebrations for Israel Independence Day. It is a reminder that yes, we have a price to pay. That yes, we pay a price for having sovereignty in our own country once again. It's not an easy price. It's a very painful price. But it is a price that we are willing to pay so that we and our children and grandchildren and Jews all over the world can be safer. Because the world is a safer place with a state of Israel and a strong Israel Defense Forces standing up not just for the Jews of Israel, but for the Jews all over the world. Much safer than in a world where there would be no state of Israel with no Israeli army. So Ari, pray for us from up above. We need your prayers. Thank you, everyone. Signing off for a special Yom HaZikaron Israel Memorial Day Pulse of Israel video here in the eternal and ancestral homeland of the Jewish people, the beautiful Judean hills.
Pulse of Israel.